Is there a specific color you like to wear a lot? If so, there might be a few reasons on the psychological side of things why you gravitate towards the colors you do when picking clothing for yourself. That's what I'm going to go over today in this video, color psychology and how it affects your style. I hope this gets you to introspect a little bit, if you don't already, about why you like certain colors and feel that some suit your personality better than others do. Stick around until the end of the video to hear some of the psychology behind your favorite color and see if it matches up with your personality and your temperament. And if you like any part of the video or relate to any of the attributes about the specific color said, consider subscribing and leaving a like on the video. Color affects moods, feelings, emotions, and even your decision making. Color affects us in a lot of different ways, not just in fashion either. Red is a striking, attention-grabbing color. It can be associated with feelings from love and passion to danger and power. A lot of the art on horror novels, or at least the ones I own, use a lot of red. Mythical creatures and monsters like vampires might automatically make you think of the color red, because their main thing is to drink blood from people. The original Dracula by Bram Stoker also has a lot of romantic undertones to it. And the story Dracula, at least when it was first written, was very terrifying. So with the thoughts of romance, aggression, violence all being represented by this color in the story is pretty fitting. It's safe to say it's a very strong color. I think this is why it's so easy to go overboard when wearing red. Since it's so attention-grabbing and bold, I think it's pretty easy to go overboard just by picking the wrong shade of red or wearing way too much of it. On the other hand, since it can be looked at in a romantic light, a lot of people, mostly women, at least from what I've seen, wear it out on dates or first dates. This can be done in a pretty subtle way to strategically place some extra attention on yourself in a pretty flattering way. I personally don't wear red too much. The few pieces of clothing I do have that are red are really dark shades and almost a maroon. I think from its mixed attributes from red and yellow, it also has mixed feelings from people. And it's not a very popular color in fashion. I don't know about you, but I don't think I've ever asked somebody what their favorite color was and they told me orange, without me cutting all contact from them. I'm just kidding, of course, but let me know if orange is your favorite color to wear and what your favorite orange piece of clothing is. The middle ground between red and yellow, because it's literally a mix between them. Think of sunsets, creativity, and urgency. Orange is used for safety vests and life jackets. It can have all the excitement of red and the happiness of yellow is the color of the sun's brightness and can give off a high energy, happy feeling. Since it's so bright, it's hard, for me at least, to wear very saturated yellow pieces. It's found a lot in caution signs and things to warn of dangers. The opening scene of It Chapter 1 makes very good use of this, with the character's highlighted yellow rain jacket against a very dull background. In art and movies, they use the color yellow to draw your attention towards something or make you pay attention. Maybe you can use that for your outfits. Brown is common in workwear, and I see a lot of people wearing it all together in different shades for a clean monochromatic look. Brown is a color that can be really inviting and cozy. Think of a log cabin where all the walls and even the furniture are different shades of brown. Because the natural color of the wood showing, everything has this nice, inviting feel to it. Just like the atmosphere of a log cabin, I noticed more likely than not someone whose favorite color is brown tends to be very inviting. If your favorite color is brown, I'm going to take a wild guess that you might be somewhat extroverted. Did I get it right? I think wearing more brown can absolutely make somebody just appear less threatening. If it's a goal of yours to feel more grounded and to possibly connect with people, then maybe you should try incorporating more brown in your outfits. Blue is actually the most popular color, at least in the US. And because of this, it's considered a very safe and non-threatening color. Since it's so many people's favorite color, it makes sense why it can be viewed as non-threatening. It also makes sense that it's the generic color for jeans, which most people wear. So it might be a good idea, if you're not sure what to wear, to wear basic blue jeans. You'll instantly look that much more relatable and even familiar in a weird way. Associated traits with the color blue are loyalty, confidence, and reliability. Do you know anybody whose favorite color is blue and matches these traits? Darker blues can give off a more strict and professional appearance, which is why most of men's basic suits come in navy blue. Dark blue or navy blue can display authority and strength. This is why police uniforms use dark blue a lot. In art, I see blue being associated with lots of feelings of sadness and even to portray a distant and cold feeling in it. Green is another very popular color in clothing, especially less saturated kinds like olive tones. Since green comes from nature, it's really easy on the eyes. Green is used by a lot of military uniforms. And there's a lot of greens on Earth, but it's not just used by the US military for camouflage and to blend in. Since one of the Navy uniforms used to be a blue digital camo, but now it's a green one. This is because traits associated with green match with the US military's ideals, like concentration, focus, and prosperity. Wearing something in this color can give some structure to an otherwise pretty casual outfit. Green is used for a lot of health bars in video games because it's a very safe and comforting color. So when that goes down, it kind of puts the idea in your head that you're not playing the game right, first of all, and you are in danger. Green is a huge color when it comes to conveying health. A lot of the Army's uniforms have green or olive, like the Army service uniform. It's not meant for camouflage. It's only meant for formal or ceremonial situations. Military-inspired clothing is very popular in fashion, and I think it's always going to be like that. Because of how sharp and clean military-style clothing is, this can bring some structure and an interesting element to a basic and casual outfit. You might not go overboard like me with all the military stuff, but you might have one or two pieces like this. And if you don't, it's always a good look, I think. The color of royalty and mystery. In early civilizations, purple clothing was only obtainable by royalty and pretty wealthy people because the dye was so hard to come by and expensive. Now some of that mystique has stuck with people's reactions to the color. It can give off a very unique and mysterious look. Brands even still use this strategy of color psychology. By using purple for logos or clothing, it can display a sort of luxury and exclusivity. My favorite color is purple, and I honestly wish I could find more clothing in this color, because I've always felt drawn to the mysterious nature it gave off and the look it can give. I do have this pale purple shirt with an Edward Gorey Dracula design on it. It's probably my favorite t-shirt, but it's not gonna last too much longer with how much I wear it. I also love the way purple and red look next to each other. Probably purely because of the color psychology behind it. Passion and aggression from red, mystery and sovereignty from purple. Purple is also used in art and media to display spirituality and mysticism. So I mostly wear black, so of course this section of the video might be the longest. Black can be classy, intimidating, display leadership, and it commands respect. Wearing black can spark strong feelings from others and make you feel great about yourself. Since black evokes feelings of seriousness and even intimidation, it's often the color used for most outfits and designs of villains in movies and other visual media. Just think of old westerns and cowboy movies where it's usually pretty easy to spot who the bad guy is before they even say anything. But wearing a lot of black probably won't make you look like a bad guy. It could just make you look very put together and confident. I think the only times where you'll get very strong and possibly negative reaction from people is if you wear black in pretty provocative ways. This is probably because black is the color of death in a lot of cultures. Gray is the perfect color for the background. A perfect background color that lets other colors pop out. It's super versatile and it doesn't grab too much attention. So on those days when you don't want way too much attention on yourself, gray is the perfect color to go to. In other words, it's kind of boring, but in the best way. White can be seen as a very clean and plain color. A lot of hospitals use whites for the walls and furniture because it gives off the vibe that everything's sterile and safe. White lab coats for scientists is also a huge thing, just to promote the idea of cleanliness. White is the go-to color for a lot of basics in clothing, since it's a pretty good base layer. These are more guidelines than actual rules, and culturally views and feelings associated with each color can and will change. Like how black is the color of death, but in some cultures, death is celebrated and not looked on in such a gloomy way. A lot in color psychology is generalizing since so many things can change, and an individual's overall outlook on a color, whether it's an experience that scarred you, or a person that wears that color a lot and brings you excitement and uplifting feelings, can be influenced by a lot. So if you're still here, thanks for watching the video, and if you didn't before, let me know in the comments if you're going to use some color psychology when putting together outfits in the future after this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.